Hey everybody, this is Way to Fail with Lords of the Realm Viewer's Choice Edition, where we currently have a bloodbath going on in Buckinghamshire, which I am not the ruler of. The Earl technically is, but there are Baron troops, Countess troops, the Earl is trying to protect, and I'm right here. I can jump in the dog pile anytime, but I figure I want to let them go out. Now, if you missed last time, we had a pretty eventful episode. It was a little bit of a longer episode as turns start to take longer here, but I managed to capture Sussex, Middlesex, and Yorkshire, and Lincolnshire, and Bedfordshire. So yeah, huge expansion. And this episode I may be getting Kent as well as Nottinghamshire at the very least. And we may need to work a little bit to consolidate our lands, but there's a few interesting developments. I went ahead and did my county management this term because it does take a little bit of time to do that, and I'm going to try and go through that faster this time. First development. The Earl's army from last time is still going along. It's sick. It's dying slowly. I have done some troop movement, not all of them. I'm actually going to send my ill Swedish swordsman over there. Now I do have some sick guardsmen, Norman crossbows, which you see 10 of them died already just because they're sick, because they came from this awful county that was diseased that had no people in it. I have them on double rations now. I also have more Swedish swordsmen, and I have a pretty nice strike force here. Now I'm actually pretty close to starting to have my own weapons built, so soon I'll be able to start funding my troops by actually supporting with my own things. But for now, these Norman crossbows, let's see here, I can siphon off some of my population here to try and maybe save some of this, although I do want a good harvest here. That's probably a good idea. Let's look at my happiness real quick. 29 happiness. Let me just get 100 peasants in here for now. 11% of the population. It hurts my happiness, but at least my people won't have to eat as much. So I said I'd finish my county management here, and I'm going to. So cool. There we go. 100 peasants. And we're just going to combine these armies right here. And that way my Norman crossbows are protected in case anything else comes up. I'm not sure who I'm going to send to take on Kent, but Kent doesn't look particularly populated, so this might be the army to do it. Have another set of Swedish swordsmen. Actually, I could get even more from Bedfordshire, but I'm not going to, because I want to start really putting money into my own troops. But for now, let's go ahead and have our first fight. Let's see if we can soften... Oh, I'm not going to be able to take them on this turn. That sucks. Well, I ought to get them in here as best I can just to try and pursue them. I really thought that I'd be able to take on this army right now. Well, if they're going to sweep across the land, I will be ready for them. So I'm just going to place my unit right there to where hopefully these guys don't go and destroy a field during harvest season, or I'm going to be super pissed. Okay, meanwhile, I've moved my archers up here. I'm going to be supporting these at least with peasants as well. I do have some Danish swordsmen I can move down, because it's 97 of them. They're going to be good throwaway troops. And let's go ahead and send one of our armies to Nottinghamshire. And which one is this? This is going to be the Swedish swordsman. That could be followed up with more Swedish swordsmen. It's important that I sacrifice these armies over time, because I do want to recoup some of my upkeep. I'm paying a ton of my income in upkeep. As you can see, I've made some purchases, and those were mostly mercenaries here. But we do want to sort of harass the knight here. He is trying to take on the Baron. The Baron actually has a gigantic, scary army coming, and it is entirely possible that I could lose Nottinghamshire, although nobles tend to ignore it. So let's do this combat first. And let's see here. 206 versus 126. Oh wow, they are actually armed to the teeth. So I could lose this. I probably will lose this. But that's okay. My goal here is to soften them up until next time. If I can get their crossbowmen in range first. If the knight is stupid in the AI, oh, the AI is going to do a run by. I am so lucky there. Alright, so crossbowmen are terrible in melee. So that's the first threat out. Like I said, that's part of the fun of older games, is that, well, you know, stuff's not perfect. But right away, I've just taken out a third of their force. I could play dodge the swordsman, but might as well take them on head on. Like I said, I don't care too much about this army. It's just going to be a chump force. Let's see here. How many swordsmen does he have? Not that many. I mean, I'm all swordsmen. So that's where I was able to get to the crossbowman first and take advantage, but at least the knight's putting up a fight, actually arming his troops, which is amazing to me considering how badly I've beaten him and how much fighting he's had to do between different people, but he's also not raising zillions of troops either, if that makes sense. So we're going to possibly offer quarter right now. And they disperse. They're like, it's not worth this. I lost 22 mercenaries. Not bad, and Nottinghamshire's mine, just like that. So one county checked off right away. I've gained control of Nottinghamshire, and it's autumn, and it's harvest time. So harvest time is a great time to take over a county because you can control a lot of stuff. Now, fortunately, the knight, for as much as I dog him, he has better economy than a lot of people. And Nottinghamshire actually has a pretty high population. A little surprised. But right now, his production is kind of going. I do want to be able to get 706 wheat. That would be pretty awesome. But right now, I guess my other big deal is that I need to get some of my swordsmen out of here. So we're just going to drop them in this county, which right now is undefended and I can take. And I don't know if I take it, I'm going to have to start taking on the Baron, and I don't know how I feel about that. So what I'm going to do here is actually see if I can be friends. We haven't done this in a while, but we're just going to do flattering, nice hat, the knight's a dick. Yeah, we're going to keep the knight's a dick because he is a dick, but this isn't to the Earl. This is bros for life. Apparently I have insert on the knight's a dick. There we go. Which dick is actually a very correct term that was used quite often back in those days, or back in England back in those days, except they had other terms for it, phallus, any of that. It just depends on what part of England you were talking about, but it's pretty common there. So, history lesson, kind of, yay. So, we're not going to worry about county management. I've done all of it. I've unable to get this 800 unit crap hole out of the way. But we're going to see what happens here. I said turns are going to start taking a little longer. The game's going to slow down a little bit, but that's turn-based strategies for you. So the Earl owning house there, and the Countess unable to defend, and the Knight looks like he's bringing another army. And, oh, he is trying to be sneaky. You rule better than most lords I have encountered, and I've seen many, so that's funny. Now that I've kicked down his doors, he is thoroughly impressed. And the Countess says, the bishop's going to move against me? Well, that's nice. Oh, shit. Okay, so they're going through there. And the Baron is getting his massive army together. The Baron's obviously the biggest threat right now. But we can see, fortunately, in the county management screen, as fires and general unhappiness do that, it is 80 men versus 100. So I can do that myself. And I can actually possibly take this county as well. I don't know. I don't know if my people can actually reach the county seat or not. They can't. So we're just going to sit on the border for now and try and do some economic damage. I don't like that these people are going to be possibly coming by and destroying fields, so I'm going to try and meet them in the field if I can. Alright, so we did get a lot of grain, which is good. Unfortunately, I have no dairy to back it up, so we are going to need to plant as much as we can. Like I said, I'm going to rush through this just a little bit, but we are going to plant, I think 500 planting's reasonable. I mean, it's going to spread out our fields a little bit more, but I don't know which ones are going to get destroyed by the Knight and which one are not. So he is going to be sending troops up after me. I don't know what's going on there. County management. Part the second is he's sneaking troops over here. And there are 350 of them, so this is the strike force we need to worry about. And he's sending it from Lancashire, which is a place I'm going to have to start taking care of here in a little bit, and he is going to eat me out of house and home if I'm not careful. So we don't have any great mercenaries right now, no castle to defend it with. I do have 200 archers, though, that I can possibly support. And I actually have my first set of weapons as well, which is swords. So we're going to try our best not to actually lose fields here. And we're going to be getting more and more swords as time goes on. So if I'm surely somewhere in this damn country I have one merchant who will sell me some weapons. So this county's population is very low. We're going to focus. We're going to do a little bit of farming, focus on slowly healthing back up our economy here. And with these few swordsmen, since there's 97 of them, I'm going to send them out into the field and just try and get a sense of what the knight's army looks like. And it's going to be a long time winding through the woods, so there's going to be a 350 person population drag on this county. So I'm going to need to possibly sell some wool or find some form of income, but I do have a lot of merchants. Alright, so here's our next county. We do not need to plant that much. We do not need that many fields. So we're just going to go down to 2. Try and get our fertility back up. So let's hear sheep. Whoa, not that many sheep. This is England, but come on. I'm getting 11 sheep here. Wool is not as valuable, so it may be time to sell the sheep soon. Yeah, that'll be plenty. So, marketplace, I can buy more weapons here. I can sell some sheep. That may not be a terrible idea, actually. I'm going to sell 13 sheep. Pretty good. Alright. So I don't need as many shepherds, and I'm still getting a pretty substantial growth in my sheepies. So that's pretty cool. No mercenaries here, but this county is supporting 406 troops, which I'll probably need to change that momentarily. I'm going to keep in mind that that guy sells weapons. So here's this county. Not a ton for grain, but still getting some armor production. Actually have a ton of wool to sell too. But notice 40 bales of wool, not nearly as much as it used to be. So once again, we're going to sell sheep. We're going to sell 15 sheep. Because it's time to cash out of the wool market, this stage of the game. So I don't need as many shepherds, but I'm pretty good with what I got there. No valuable mercenaries. So gift of grain from abroad, that's fantastic. Max happiness is fantastic. Good merchant, 68 wool. He doesn't buy sheep, but I'm going to get some more money. Alright. So we do not actually need much in the way of farmers here. We just need a few herders, and we got our first weapon production. So we have swords and swords. Cool. And by the way, you can pretty much buy weapons in one county and send them wherever. They're just kind of like some magic portal pull. It takes forever for you to send units across, but weapons, who cares? So let's see here. I have enough dairy to feed these people for a while. Now let's see here. Are there any fields to recover? No. And I'm doing okay on iron. But maybe I should drop a few more people to start mining some iron here. Pretty slowly. Swedish swordsman. Once again, good to have. I may actually take that up. As we have, I believe... I never moved this army. Which stinks. And there we go. Double ration. We're going to go back to single ration here as I got 22 population going up. Alright, so I can plant only so much stuff. And I'm not going to really be planting a lot. I'm going to plant as much as I can, hoping that the population will grow a little bit. So immigrants to Kent, very slowly. So the Earl has just kind of bunkered down in Button Grey Castle, or whatever you call it. I don't want him to come back on me, and he does have a lot of troops here. But let's see here. Winter, this place has only so much food, and I've really got to take out, as we've had so many deaths. I don't even know what's causing all these deaths all of a sudden, other than the people being sick from lack of eating. So let's go ahead and drop the number of fields here. I do not like a sheep economy, as you've seen in other counties, but we don't have a merchant to really do that right now. So we are just going to go with 680, and let's recover that field. So quarriers, miners, builders. Let's get some more miners in there. So Norman crossbows, good thing to have as well, but maybe not really what I need right now. So we're going to take that guy out in just a second. Also meant to mention that actually the Earl has a bitchin' castle, Tenegal Castle. Beautiful layout, keeps in the middle, moats everywhere. Pretty envious, but I got to get some more stone and wool. So his castle's better than mine. It's actually a little bit built. So I believe I've checked all my counties. So 1019. Oh no, Bedfordshire. Alright. So we're going to get a little bit here. Bedford, you actually may need some happy juice. So 244 crowns is not a ton, but 1019 weapons, as we're just going to let these armies soften themselves up. And I think I will be sending this army as kind of a strike force to maybe try and knock out the Earl in here. Alright, so just things to think about. So 1019, 1068, and you don't sell weapons. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to buy some swords. When I buy 100 swords, it's 2,000 crowns. We want to keep a small slush fund because I actually do want to buy some of those sweet Swedish swordsmen that were around. I wish the indicators were there. So we're going to raise this army as well. So I know that increases my upkeep a little bit, but see, what we're going to do is to take these Gascony archers and we're going to support them. Yay! Okay, so if I raise an army of 14% of the population, how big of a happiness hit am I going to take? A little bit too much. How much ale can I buy here? Okay, 4 casks for 2 happiness. We need that. Alright. So we only need to really raise 100 swords here. Reason being is that, there we go. So their happiness is still good. They don't mind raising some army. Reason being is that we're going to go kind of something I didn't do once upon a time, but something that's really good kind of Crusader King skill style is to just try and raise your armies from multiple areas, levy them from different times. Generally, you're not going to get too much of a happiness hit if you take the population, I guess you could say, just take the population slowly and like from different, and bleed it from different areas. So we have all kinds of armies here. Let's go ahead and march you all down. And I'm not sure which campaign's going to be doing for which, but it's going to be highly advisable that I combine my armies in a little bit. And unfortunately I did not save a lot for cattle, so we'll buy 1 just to have 1 cacao field. Cow! Cacawabunga, 54 herders there. I do have a care package coming ever so slowly, so I can't move these troops anymore. So I think we only have southern troop management. It'd be nice if there was an indicator, but I thought it was their flags would be solid, but I am mistaken. So the knight has a lot of forces there. I'm not really moving anybody here at this point. I kind of want this to be a defensive unit. But how much food does this county have? It has almost enough. I mean, I have a lot of troops supporting this area. Did just raise more Swedish swordsmen. So you all are gonna go ahead and rock through here. And you all are going to go ahead and peace out this way as well. I mean, we have all kinds of Swedish swordsmen we can move. Debating trying to take on the Countess, but that's probably a terrible idea. Let's see here. I have a little more than I need. Actually, I may keep these swordsmen up here. Before I move them, I know I'm getting a little indecisive. Let's start by actually trying to soften the troops up with the Swedish swordsmen here, because I think we can take this army out in this turn. That'll kind of determine what we do next. So these guys should have, they have decent morale compared to my people who have pretty terrible morale. So I wanted them to be a little more upset. See, the problem is that if I try and fight with them a little bit later, if I can just take out more of their units, that'll be great. But I don't really have a full force like maybe I'd want to. So yeah, I think I'm going to need to bring a bunch of Swedish swordsmen down and try and raise armies in the south as well as some weapons that I can buy and craft. Because we're going to probably be able to take out another 200 in this force, and then maybe with my southernmost army I can take out the rest of them, I don't know. But right now we are, my mercenaries are bravely holding their own. But because this is a peasant army, they're not going to disperse when I offer quarter to them, like maybe if they were the Earl's army they would. I probably could have dealt with this if the Earl had ever moved it. I'm really surprised that he didn't, and I wonder if the Baron's going to do the same thing with his army in the north. It's gigantic. I have a feeling he's going to move against the Knight. I just hope he doesn't move against me. So my troops are starting to lose, but if I can drop this army below 400, I'm going to be very happy. I do not know about his axeman situation. He has 17 axemen left, and they are currently not engaging anybody, but my morale is dropping, so this battle is going to end very shortly. So hey, less upkeep, but that's why we get more swordsmen. So yay, I lose, but I actually eliminated over half of his forces. So that leaves a bunch of crossbowmen, a few swordsmen, and peasants, the slaughterers, who are happy, healthy, and great. But see, I need to eliminate this army so I can get more Norman crossbows if I really wanted to. I need to eliminate that army because I need to stop people from eating all the food in this county. So let's go ahead and finish this. And we are actually going to go ahead and move both our swordsmen and our peasants up. Those are actual swordsman unit people from my army and not mercenaries, because you can't combine mercenary armies here. And those peasants were more as a strike force for sieging, but we are going to go ahead and walk these peasants into battle. I just want to distract everybody from the crossbowmen. Don't attack the crossbowmen. So see, my morale jumped up because those are my troops. And I think I'm going to be able to carry the day here. Or if not, the peasants can't just go and take me over. So there's one set of units gone. I think those were the axemen. Yeah, it's just peasants. So this is going to be mop up city now. I'm going to lose more swordsmen than I'd like for this. But peasants are replaceable. Swordsmen are going to start to be replaceable once I start getting counties producing weapons, as I am transitioning into a war economy here. So here we go. Can I offer quarter? Be smart for them to. They refuse because they're a peasant army, and they're all just going to run off anyway. Because their morale is going to drop. It already has dropped. So right now my crossbowmen are like, who do I shoot? I don't have anyone to shoot. And there we go. So the enemy troops are dead or flee, and I lost 35 people. So that's even less people eating food. Unfortunately, a lot of those 35 were swordsmen. Some were peasants. So I think that's all the troop movement I want to do this time. That means, I believe this army's taking on Kent. Their health's fair. This health is very sick. And yeah, I do want to move that army out, but I'm not going to do it yet. But we do need to support our southern forces here a little bit. So we're going to move one army down into the county. We're going to move another army just to try and split up, because that is a bad, unhealthy county. So yeah, we'll split like this. Cool, so we'll see if we can take Kent next turn. Like I said, the turns take a little longer. We're going to get probably the Stewart summary screen here in a little bit. But as I get more troops, I can really start to lay waste. As the Earl's probably fortifying a castle, the Countess is trying to take on somebody, and the Knight gonna go and push against the Baron. And gonna go and try and push against the Baron. And is he gonna push against... Oh, there he goes. Is he destroying my fields? Oh, he almost went for one of the houses. Okay, so... The bishop's saying, I hope your newfound power will not cause you to forget that as a Christian you have a duty to the church. Don't you two? The Knight, some of my troops will be passing through Nottinghamshire. Of course, you have nothing to fear from them. And there we go. Look at this. Peasants. Almost 10,000 people. 10 counties. Happiness is even up, and the farm output's up. So, I am the greatest noble. Just remember how low my flag was before and how high it is now. Actually, I'm very surprised the Earl is still where he's at. I don't have the most castles, and I spend my money instead of keeping it. But I have more counties than anyone now. Equivalent troops to the Baron, although most of mine are the south, whereas his are concentrated. And I have a lot of people, but the Earl still has the happiest people, but when you only have one county to manage, that's fine. So I'm number one. Yay! Cool. So Mortimer crumbles into dust, which is not a surprise. And the the Baron's starting to march. So we'll see where that goes. Actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and change the Stewart report back to every 2 years. So we'll call on that when we need it. And this is probably going to be our last turn this episode as well. So yeah, he's fortified this castle. I can probably throw some peasants into this army, as this is a very large county, and I do actually want to... Let's hear it. This would be a really good production county, actually. No merchant, though, to start selling stuff. There's so much wool. I will, like, crash the market when I sell that. And that's okay. So we're actually going to put you all in armors as well, and we're just going to have you... We're just going to have you produce the same things you've been producing before. So there we go. Not a lot for my builders to do right now because we need materials. Once again, my population's dying off because the health is just so bad. But yeah. So let's hear this county, cattle disease. Oh god, we're at normal ration. I was wondering why the bar was red there. So they're sick. We lost some moo cacao. But we're still okay because we got a second care package. So we actually don't have the population to support as many cows as we have. So, well, what can you do? So right now, you don't sell weapons. There's 400 some troops in here. Let's go ahead and fix that. I'd love to be able to combine the mercenaries, but we're not. Let's go ahead and take Kent. At least we'll save that for next turn. Do I offer a gift? I'm not going to. I have these troops. They'll be able to handle it. So I guess the question is, how do I want to push? It looks like... I don't know. Are the Earl and Countess allies? I think I know a really good way to test that, which is sending these troops through the county. Well, I do need to support one of them. We're going to do kind of a test poke with one of these, which sounds like a really bad thing that you do in college. It might be a really bad thing you did in college. Test poke. There's certainly not a bad movie by that name out there somewhere. So let's see here. We already did that county here. Essex, good weather. Things are all right. This is a very good success story because this county was starving when I got it, and now it's thriving. So I had to quick pause there because I have the loudest eating and drinking dogs in the world, and because I have a newer microphone, I'm pretty sure that you all will actually be able to hear all the slurping and slopping that's going on in the background. So, yay dogs. Also, I'm pretty sure probably starting next time I am going to see about turning on the steward assistance, just because it is a lot to do that. So if I turn it on, that's 200 crowns. It is a convenience fee, but I am starting to make enough money, and I do have enough counties to where it's just a lot for me to go through here. And the steward's main job is to maintain everything in the top part of the production screen. As you can see, I have a ton of sheep here that I don't really need. And when I get merchants and stuff, I will still be able to control what I buy and sell. So let's hear. I can buy as much ale as I want. Oh, it'll increase by happiness by 3. I almost actually spent all my money on beer. That would have been hilarious. Alright, so we're selling all that wool, 82 bales of wool, and since the wool prices are crashing, let's actually go ahead and half our number of sheep. Let's hear. 850 crowns, 32 sheep is all we have left. It actually frees up a field, I'm pretty sure. So the flock's going to fall by 1 unless I add a field. Not really a huge deal at this point. I do have some weaponsmiths, and I can probably add some more here in a little bit. So more Swedish swords if I want them. Like I said, mercenaries are very cost effective, but you can't combine them into larger armies. So even more wool. Sell that. And let's sell 14 sheep. As we can buy plenty of weapons now. So we kind of get a really nice boost from this. So yeah, these guys are just being friends, I think. So let's hear another merchant. What's our happiness like here? I think I actually need to raise this county's happiness just a little bit. Okay, so 4 cask, that's worth it. Because once again, we're going to sell our wool and sell some sheep. And that's once again going to free up more people to do some other things. And what kind of production do I want here? Because there is some spare population. Probably just going to have... Let's have you all back to what you were doing kind of before. Or you have some foresters. Get those castle supplies ever so slowly. As let's see here, we can actually probably afford to have a few more cattle ranchers as well. I do like having open field space because that lets your cows grow much bigger, much faster. So Cambridge, 1017. If we buy more weapons, it may be from him. I'm actually not sure what a weapon stockpile looks like. Once again, that's where we go here. So we have no arms right now. Oh, no arms. Okay. So here's our 50 swords and archers. There's the big army from the Baron. And how do we want to divide this army up? Because, well, let's start with Lincolnshire, apparently. Okay. A little bit of a misclick, but what can you do? This county's still tiny, and because it's locked in my people, it's just always going to be tiny, except for what population grows. But you can see we're growing up. Immigrants to Northamptonshire. Well, I guess this county is connected to plenty of people, and it likes the Barons somehow. So there we go. Let's look at Nottinghamshire. Storms to damage crops. Not as huge of a deal while things are growing. But we'll just work on recovering fields here. No merchant. Gascony archers are nice. I would much prefer spearmen, as I'm very lucky the knight did not destroy that field. So let's see what happens when I go ahead and attack here. As I'm wondering maybe I should attack that county. But that's just asking the Baron to say hello. Oh my god, it's knights. This actually could be a very interesting battle. So all I'm going to do is just drop my people back and let him come to me. Because those knights are good and fast and very mobile. But man, that takes kind of double resources there, unless he's hired mercenaries to do it himself. Now, unfortunately, this may not work out for me as well, unless I go into the bog myself. Because it looks like they may be doing the dodge entirely. Because these guys are very strong because they're mobile and they can outposition units. But if I can just find a way to take them on individually here, we'll see. Because they have their own separate suit of armor and sword. That's all it takes. Apparently the horses just magically appear out of nowhere. As you can see, my forces are taking their dear sweet time trying to hack these down. And how many of each are there? 48 to 102. So now we have dogs pacing, wondering what's going on. So over time, see, there we go, 48, 43 to 99. So pretty evenly matched here. It's pretty much, if you want fast swordsmen, you go for knights. But it's just so expensive when, by the time you have larger forces, you just get knights. What's the worst case scenario here is that I just lose this army a little bit, and then I just have to move my other swordsmen back. So it does look like that maybe perhaps my forces could be overwhelmed here. That is 30 swordsmen up there. These guys are just going to hack, hack, hack. What is the morale like? Morale's pretty even on both. It's kind of even-conned armies here. So maybe it wasn't the best idea to move into the marsh. I was hoping the marsh could split them up a little bit, but there we go. They're hacking away. And now I've got to watch and see, will they retreat, won't they retreat? I don't know. But if these guys kill my whole army, I won't really care that much. So my morale's going, so maybe I am underestimating knights a little bit, because they are taking out my army pretty well, despite horses. They shouldn't be doing as well in here, as in the background we have my 60-pound dog wondering why my 4-pound dog won't move. Because that's how dogs roll. So now, unfortunately, we have resource stacking, so I have no idea what to tell you about what's going on, other than I'm pretty sure my swords won't be able to take on those swords. But I do have 37, 36 to their 18, so slowest battle in the world. And I could actually, even if it's just a few people, I could possibly send these people over to try and take over a county from the knight. Yeah, this is a really, really slow battle. Wasn't expecting that. So 15, 18, 25. At least I'll be able to win it pretty quickly with my swordsman next time around. So we'll see. What's the morale like? 6 morale. So my people are going to start running away here in just a moment. And that'll tip the scales. As even though there's only 13 knights to 21 swords, which shouldn't really be a contest. Apparently, I guess because we're in the marsh, I'm not getting mowed over. So yeah, this is not going to end well for me. I'm just gonna stop delaying the inevitable and retreat. My forces should be mopped up. So the knight beat me there, and I hope that it doesn't destroy a grain field. But now we're gonna have my other force attacking the knight. I really hope that doesn't no, I'm not attacking the village. So there you go, 150 versus 42. Can I go ahead and offer quarter? And they accept. The reason they accept is because I had just a much larger army, even though they could have done substantial damage to me. That's kind of how the game works its logic. So right now we have pretty good force. I could actually just take this county right from the knight, but like I said, I do not want to incite the Baron. I don't want the knight really sending forces either. So kind of a tricky situation. I am going to go ahead and just move these forces to meet. And no, I don't like attacking the village because that does decrease your population by a lot. So all these armies are actually going to combine Voltron style if I can ever select them. As we get our supply package going up to the north. So there you go, combine armies. What's this one look like now? 100 swordsmen, 200 archers. That's going to be kind of the bread and butter for my army by the end of this. And I am feeding a ton of people in this county, so I may need to go another direction with this, because he's going to be taking a very, very long time to make it to me. I may actually have to build a tiny castle here just to get it to work, or put some kind of troops up. But these guys are going to tell me a lot about what the knight's doing, because right now the knight isn't doing a lot. And I have at least defended there. So let's finish our county management, and we're going to call this an episode. As, let's see, I have plenty of crowns, plenty of shit I can buy. Rumor of evil from abroad. Lots of cattle. Yeah, I think that's everything. And we're just going to automate the steward starting next turn. That's 20 per county. I can definitely afford that. So let's hear. You guys should all be moved already. So yeah, let's go ahead and just buy some more weapons, because that's what we're going to start to need. And I am going to buy, let's see here. Let's buy 100 more swords, because I'm getting plenty of archer support here, though I will start to want to buy some swords as needed, as my counties are producing that as well. So right now I only have one group of brigands roaming through me, so let's end turn, see where we lay out, and we're going to call this an episode here. So it says the turns take longer, things take a little bit more time, but that's okay. So please tell me the knights. Oh no, he's going to defend his lands, so may have missed my attack of opportunity as he begins to try and funnel through here. Have excess farmers. Okay, so have excess farmers in these counties. And let's see here. Rations changed in these two counties, so interesting. So we'll see how bad he screwed that up. The Baron says, rumor has it the knight's going to march against me. The knight says, I'm passing through my county. It used to be my home. Luckless falls. So, oh shit, there goes the Baron's big army. That's why I want my knight meat shield. Unless, of course, he's actually combining his forces to fight alongside the knight, but considering the knight's besieging him, I doubt that happens. So this is where we're at right now. I'm about to take Kent. I'm having trouble in this county. For some reason, I'm having trouble. But yeah, 479 people are lying idle. That's not good, Stuart. That's not good. So we may have to go micromanage this the whole damn time. Because yeah, that's what I was worried about with Stuart. I remember it being kind of busted before But we'll see. It does at least keep things running and does keep production in line. But we're going to stop here for now. And this is Way to Fail with another Lords of the Realm, where so far things are actually being quite successful. As let's go ahead and say, oh God, please don't eat all of the sheep in the world. Hey Bob's shop, let's go ahead and sell. How much wool? Let's just make some cash money real quick. But yeah, this is Lords of the Realm. Like I said, it does take a little bit more time later in the game, as we're going to drop this down probably to a significant margin. But I still get plenty of money. Plenty of money to buy cattle. 50 cows should do nicely. I wish I could sell these sheep, but I can't. So we'll have to make do with that for now. So let's see here. How many people are idle? We need 100. We need 100 herders. We need all these people. More here. More here. Cool. So we'll let the steward figure that out. Maybe I'll keep it, maybe I won't. But this is Way to Fail with another Lords of the Realm. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time, where we continue to try and push west, east, maybe eliminate a player, hopefully focus more on the military aspect instead of the county management with the steward in line. But I may have to reel him in from time to time, but hope you all enjoyed it. I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.